This is no longer our battle. I tried fighting you. It can't be done.
Could you really rest for all of eternity, knowing that you had the chance to stop him, but did nothing?
Hello everybody, this is Snarist here, and welcome back to the continuation of my Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor no upgrade run, and this is part 13, the Dark Monument. And this is one of my least favourite missions in the game, despite kind of enjoying it more than the last mission I did when it came to Hirgon. I don't even know why I call him Hirgon, because that almost sounds like the Elven pronunciation for it, whereas for most people it would be like Hirgon or Hirgon or something. But yeah, we're just sort of like following along quietly. Every once in a while we'll have to stop to fight a few ghouls and just a couple of Uruks here and there. But for the most part, it's a pretty easy mission. I almost regret leaving in all this footage that wasn't necessary to cover, because I probably could have trimmed the video down halfway if I didn't bother. But this isn't going to be that long of a series anyway. I mean, it will as far as my channel's existence goes, because if I upload a couple of videos a day, I'm going to get through the series pretty quickly. I may be tempted in future to start uploading like 3 videos of this a day. Like maybe I'll start with 2, or I'll take some of the longer videos and make 2 videos out of them a day, but then move on to 3. But right now, I suppose, if nothing else, we have to clear out this camp full of the Uruks, and in this first section here, I believe I kill them all without needing any assistance from Hirgon, because if you get spotted, he'll jump in and join the fight, but he can get killed. But he has enough health anyway, and as long as you stick by his side, he should be all good. The escort missions in this game aren't really that tough, and you know they take a lot of damage already, and so you never really need to be put in any danger. But I suppose the next thing I should talk about is more or less how my videos have been doing so far. And so far, at least on Better Era Gaming, I've uploaded 2 reviews so far. There'll probably be a couple more by the time this video comes out, but my first one was on Code Vein 2, and it was called Code Vein 2 was doomed to fail, and I say that because Code Vein 2 had everything going for it in terms of what the original was based off of. See, this is also where I discovered that if you knock down the enemy from above, they're so dazed and stunned they don't realize what hit them, so you can actually get in behind them and do a stealth kill as soon as they get back up. So it keeps the quiet, you know, it gives you the element of surprise. Because if you stealth kill an enemy, no matter how vicious and brutal it can be, it's always very quiet. But if you try to do like a ground execution takedown on these enemies, it makes a bit more noise. You know, what I was saying before is... Fuck, what was I saying before? Oh, god damn it. Oh, by the way, in this section here, my objective bugs out a little bit. I'm supposed to follow him into the next area down here, but it takes ages to follow along. And then there's a marker here saying I need to be here, but I actually don't. So I'm going to be messing around here for about a minute or so. I was going to say that as far as all my series goes, the most popular videos that have been made so far has been my God of War 3 videos. At the top, the Hercules boss fight is still there. I didn't think people enjoyed the Hercules boss fight as much as they did, but that boss fight has now got 190 views. That's pretty good, as far as I'm concerned. The next one is the Cerberus Breeder, which has about 109 views, and the next one beneath that is the Ice Scorpion boss, which has 44 views. So that gives me a little bit more hope that as soon as I start covering some more mainstream games, or games that are already like pretty popular, no matter how old they are, it'll still give me a reason to, you know, to see some channel growth even without streaming. But yeah, well, I think I'll start to see some more number growths when I get to Dead Space 2. Not necessarily in terms of subscribers, but in terms of views, because I think Dead Space 2 will do rather well compared to all my other videos. Because while I have had a few videos from Ruby Grim Eclipse that have done quite well, and the odd video from Ninja Gaiden 4, and the 15th combat trial for Ninja Gaiden 4 has also done rather well, for the most part, I don't know what's happening with the video quality there. Just I don't know if you guys could see that, but it did look like a little bit of a jump there. It's the strangest thing. But yeah, actually no, what I was talking about before was the reviews I made on Better Era Gaming. Yeah, because Code Vein 2 had everything going for it, but it chose to copy more like Elden Ring style by being open world, by having like a mount in the form of a motorcycle, and just, you know, basically being like a shallow reinvention of its original concept. And they should have carried on the story from there. I don't care about any of this, like, oh, it wouldn't have lined up with God Eater's universe or blah blah blah. Like, don't pretend like you respect anything when you made a game that bad. And then there's My Hero One's Justice 2. No, sorry. My Hero Academia All's Justice, which is inferior to One's Justice 2 in just about every single way. And so, yeah, this year as far as games go, I'm 3 for 3, where I've played Code Violet, then I played Code Vein 2, and then I played My Academia All's Justice, and so far all 3 games have been pretty almost equally shit, despite their different ratings. And so the next one I'm kind of looking forward to is Resident Evil 9. I think that'll be good, despite some of the problems I might have with it. I'm going to hold off on Romeo's a Dead Man by Suda51 Studios, and I'm going to hold off on East 10 Proud Nordics until later on, because besides Resident Evil 9, in March, it's pretty much a dead month for me, apart from this sort of like anime-themed racing game called Screamer, and there's a lot about it that reminds me of like Death Racing Combat. I haven't seen enough footage to confirm whether or not it has like death racing with weapons and stuff, but if you can like play the campaign choosing one of the 5 factions that you can play as, apparently, or if it's just one faction but there's like choices you can make and like a way that you can have like a branching path and change the narrative. Honestly, it's been a real long time since I've played like a good like racing game that I've never touched before, because to me my favourite racing games are Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix and Jack X. Like, to me, those games are the pinnacle of racing. Like, in terms of like traditional like street racing, Midnight Club 3 is the GOAT, and as far as like death racing goes, Jack X, like, it's not even a question. Nothing beats that. But yeah, I'm more or less running out of things to talk about in this, because you can see it's just mostly stealth and killing the odd Auric here and there, nothing too challenging. And even if you die within story missions, nothing affects the world, nothing affects the schedules, nothing affects promotions or demotions of certain Aurics. It is what it is. I probably should have sped this up, or I probably should have cut it out, but you know, it's been a while since I've had like a proper unedited like video walkthrough of a game, and I prefer games like this, games that can be long but they're made a little bit shorter. And so now we're picking up the pace a little bit. We're getting closer to where we need to clear the way so we can guide this grog cart into one of the fortresses, and it's going to be moved slowly along as archers are going to be shooting down from it, and you only need to take out a few of the archers as you push the grog cart further in, so it's not really that tough. But yeah, I had a massive Steam sale over the week, not the weekend, but just before the weekend began, and so I've got tons of games lined up, but the problem is my PC can't handle all of them, so I only have to keep on like a few at a time. I kind of regret installing Tekken 8 because it's like 125 gigs, when I could have put like 2, 3 or even 4 other games on there in their place. But I just want to get these commentaries over and done with in one go, just so I can stick them into the videos that I'm watching right now, and so I can export them, and that way I can start getting rid of that footage and start clearing out some space. Because there's going to be other games I'm going to be covering in future where I'm going to be recording for a long time and I need to cut them out. But I've pretty much come to the conclusion that this channel is going to take a long time to succeed, and it just comes down to what I really want. Because not too long ago, because Rise Son of Rome is available on Steam, and it's a game that I've got ready to go, and I'm kind of keen to give that a shot. Maybe not this weekend, but the next weekend, I want to give it a go. And apparently it's unbalanced, where Centurion difficulty is still pretty easy, but then you get Legendary, and Legendary is like a huge step up, like it's really bad. I don't trust people's opinions when it comes to difficulty. I've often found that games aren't as difficult as they seem when it comes to other people talking about them. So I'm sure it won't really be a problem, because I also know that Rise Son of Rome isn't really that long of a game. Now, I'm more interested in like this optional mode it has as like a gladiator arena, like fight section. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, I would love to give that a shot, even if it's not like online or I can't do any online components with it. Because Shadow of Rome is one of my favourite games of all time, and I love the gladiator sections in that game. And it's one of the main reasons why I wanted to get an emulator, Not just because I want to be ready before the God of War Trilogy remake drops, because I want to cover God of War 1 and 2 on God mode and Titan difficulty for both games. Like, I want to get it over and done with. But I also want to be able to play Shadow of Rome. That way I can do an extreme difficulty walkthrough, then I can do an extreme walkthrough for all the arena fights, getting gold trophies, doing all the mini games, getting gold trophies. Like, I want to cover that game to its fullest. And I'm sure it'll turn out to be worse than I expect, or I'm sure it'll take longer to figure out than I expect, but yeah, I'm pretty hopeful. I'm pretty hopeful. So, I was actually looking around and I found, every once in a while I'll stop by and check out Beck, but his name is Beck Benedict, I think is his name. He's a walkthrough channel that's been around for like 12 or 13 years now, something like that. And he still makes videos now, although he's making them rather infrequently, just whenever he wants to. But he mainly sticks to like hack and slash games and third and first person shooters. And that's definitely a good thing because those are absolutely my kind of games. And he's a very talented gamer. And he's got some pretty straight to the point, insightful commentary when it comes to the game's mechanics and everything. And see where I can definitely do that with some games that I've played. Even if they're not games that really deserve walkthroughs, I've kind of come to the conclusion that I don't really care how many subs I really get, because I know eventually there'll be a return on it. Because Beck Benedict has been around for quite a long time now, and he's only got like, what, 12, 13k subs? But he still does what he does because he loves it. And that's sort of where I want to be in. Now, I'm pumping out videos very, very frequently. You know, I often find times I just want to relax and play a new game or play an old game and not worry about recording, but I've done all that for many years now, and I'm tired of it. I want to give it purpose now, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving these games that I'm already going to play again purpose by making commentaries out of them. So, yeah, how this relates is I watched a little bit of gameplay from his Rise Son of Rome walkthrough, where he's playing on Legendary, he's using no upgrades and taking no damage. It sounds like, from what he was saying, a pretty difficult thing to do, and it's one of those things where you take like necessary damage at this thing or that thing. I didn't pay too much attention to the gameplay, just because I didn't want to spoil it for myself. I just wanted to experience it on my own, but I wanted a bit of a taste and a bit of a reminder about how he does his content, and you know, I really admire it. And so, yeah, I'm going to eventually move on to Rise Son of Rome. I don't know if I'll cover it in a walkthrough, like for Legendary, but, you know, as much as I like to challenge the odd game by doing, like, no upgrades or no damage, I don't often like to do no upgrade runs or no damage runs, because I just find it to be a little irritating when you're fighting enemies for a long time, and you do barely any damage. Like, it's only for certain games I'll do that. Like, I will go out of my way to do that. But for most games, even though I could, and it would take some time, I don't do no damage, I don't do no upgrades, I just, you know, I play the game normally on its top difficulty, and I show you ways that you can easily deal with it. And I feel like that kind of applies to a lot of people as well, because they just want to know how to get through the game legitimately and without, you know, resorting to cheats. Although, if there are a couple of games that I do want to cover one day, like say a couple of the CODs, you know, I would love to play some of the older Call of Duty games. Most of them are pretty easy to beat on Veteran and all that, but there are a few of them that are just really annoying and I don't really like them at all. And I know COD 4 is one of them, but there is a way that you can kind of cheat the system if you're playing on the remaster. But I'll just quickly leave off this story mission in this video by saying that... fuck, where's my words? I completely forgot. Anyway, you're supposed to like take out a few of these archers, and then you can pretty much just push the grog cart along the whole way until you get stopped again. Not a big deal. And it's got plenty of health, so you've got plenty of time. I've completely forgotten my point. Oh yeah, what you've seen before in some of the other combat sequences, even in previous videos, is that even when I counter one of the Uruks, even though I knock them down to the ground with my counter, or, you know, you see the stars swirling above their head like they're dazed, even though they might only be dazed for like a second, when you do that, the higher your hit combo goes and the more enemies you attack at once, Talion will do these like sort of lunging animations, and when that happens, you've got more of a chance to stun them. And so when you like move from one enemy to the next enemy to the next enemy, and you focus on the enemies that are about to attack you, if you could attack them and counter-attack them before you hit the counter, then you've got a chance, if you're taking on like 3 or 4 of them at once, to knock all of them down on the ground and go back to the very first one you were attacking and get the ground execution quickly before they can recover. And you can do that one after the other. And yeah, there's a fair bit of tech behind there, and I suppose I can bring it up in future videos whenever it becomes more of a point. That's enough for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.